Hey there! Let me introduce myself. I'm Sarah. I'm a 36-year-old woman. My world revolved around Brian, my husband and the love of my life. Brian and I met in college. We took things slow initially, but when we were still together 2 years after college, we knew that we had to get married. Although our relationship was generally smooth sailing, there was one issue I had with him. Brian grew up in a family where everyone pooled their money together. They believed in sharing everything and spending it as a group. Brian thought that our money wasn't just ours, but also belonged to his family. On the other hand, my family believed in keeping finances separate and being responsible for our own choices. I wanted to have control over my own money and make my own decisions.
I can't believe you're being so selfish.
We're a family now, and that means all our money should be shared equally. Why can't you understand that? Selfish? You think I'm selfish? I'm not against your family, but I believe in having my own financial independence. I want to make my own decisions about money. Why is that so hard for you to understand?
Because we're supposed to work together. It's not about control or independence. It's about supporting each other and sharing our resources for our family's well-being. That's what my parents taught me, and it's important to me.
Your parents' way may work for them, but I think differently. I have my own dreams and goals, and I want to have the freedom to pursue them without feeling guilty. Can't you respect my desires?
How can I respect your desire for financial separation when it goes against everything I believe in? It feels like you're pushing my family away, like they don't matter to you.
That's not true. I love you and your family, but I also love myself. I want us to find a compromise where we respect each other's values. But if you can't understand that, maybe we need to rethink our relationship.
Fine, maybe we should. Maybe we're not just meant to be if we can't agree on something as important as our finances. Maybe you're right. Sarah, maybe we're just too different.
We couldn't agree on a compromise, so it caused a lot of tension in our relationship. It was frustrating because we loved each other, but this issue kept coming up and causing problems. We just couldn't find a way to meet in the middle. Things got even more difficult because Brian's mum, Linda, didn't like me. She thought I disrespected their family because I had different ideas about money. This made our marriage even harder.
I don't understand why Brian married you. It's obvious that you don't care about our family. Your thoughts on money show that you don't think our unity is important.
Linda, that's not true. I love Brian and I want to be a part of your family, but I also believe in taking responsibility for my finances.
Taking responsibility? That just sounds like an excuse to be selfish. In our family, we share what we have and support each other. It's always been that way.
I get that, but I come from a different background where we believe in being independent with our money. It doesn't mean I don't care about your family or want to be a part of it.
Well, your beliefs are causing a division. It feels like you're pushing us away, like we don't matter to you.
That's not true, Linda. I want us to find a way to understand and respect each other's ideas. I love Brian, and I want us to be a strong family together.
I don't want to keep talking about this. Every time you prioritize your own ideas, it feels like you don't care about ours. Please just leave me alone.
I felt a fiery anger inside me. I was filled with frustration and a feeling that things weren't fair. It hurt to think that Brian's family didn't understand me and didn't give me the acceptance and support I longed for. But hidden beneath all that, there was also a deep sadness, a pain from realizing that our differences could keep us apart. I wondered if I could ever truly belong, or if our conflicting beliefs would always keep us apart. The heaviness of these emotions overwhelmed me, leaving me feeling lost and unsure about what would happen next in our relationship. Whenever we all got together, there was tension in the air. These family gatherings were filled with awkward glances and passive-aggressive remarks against me. I could tell that Linda didn't approve of me, and it made things even more difficult. It was clear that my different ideas about money not only affected Brian and me, but also strained my relationship with his family. I hoped that we could find a way to understand each other, and that Linda would see that my views didn't mean I didn't love Brian or his family. But no matter how hard I tried, it seemed like I would always be an outsider. The tension and resentment grew, making our already fragile marriage even more challenging. As if my life couldn't get hard enough, the universe dealt me another devastating blow. A few months ago, my life changed dramatically when my father became seriously ill. It turned everything upside down. I had to juggle taking care of him and managing all the household chores by myself. It was a lot to handle and I felt overwhelmed and exhausted. But what hurt the most was how Brian reacted. Influenced by his mum's hurtful ideas, he refused to help me. He said that if I didn't value his family, he wouldn't value mine. Every day was a struggle. I woke up early to take care of my dad, rushing around to make sure he was comfortable. Then I had to go to work, come back and do all the household chores, cook meals and try to keep things as normal as possible. It was a huge burden on my shoulders, both mentally and physically. I reached out to Brian, hoping he would lend a hand or at least listen. I can't do this alone anymore. I'm exhausted from running between taking care of my father and managing all the household chores. I need your help, at least with things around the house.
Why should I help you when you don't value my family? You've made it clear that you aren't on board with supporting them.
This really isn't about your family right now. It's about us, our marriage, and the support we should be giving each other. I need you by my side during this difficult time. My father is dying.
I can't just forget about my family, Sarah. If you can't support them, then why should I support yours?
This isn't about supporting your family or mine. It's about being there for each other as a team. I thought we were in this together.
Well, maybe I can't rely on you if you can't prioritize my family. I won't help you until you change your attitude.
You know what?
I don't even know why I tried with you. Forget I even asked you anything.
As time passed, my father's health got worse. I felt helpless watching him suffer. I wanted Brian's presence and support, but he wasn't there for me. It was like losing my partner and best friend when I needed them the most. I felt exhausted both physically and emotionally. I longed for someone to lean on, someone to help carry the weight, but Brian's absence only highlighted the growing divide between us. I wondered how love could turn so cold. How could Brian let his family's prejudice get in the way of our relationship? It was hard to accept that love alone wasn't enough to make things work when loyalties were divided. Sadly, my father's health got worse and he couldn't fight his illness anymore. He peacefully passed away in his sleep, leaving a big hole in my heart. I was overwhelmed by grief and had to go through the difficult process of planning his funeral and wake. It was a time filled with deep sadness and lots of tears. During this tough period, Brian's silence hurt me deeply. His mum's negative influence had taken hold of him, and he seemed distant and uninvolved. It felt like he didn't care about my pain and sorrow. The person I loved the most seemed to have vanished, replaced by someone under his mum's harmful influence. I felt broken-hearted, like my world had shattered into a million pieces. I desperately wanted Brian's comfort and support, but he stayed silent, trapped in his mum's toxic beliefs. I felt completely alone and abandoned, struggling to cope with my grief. Amidst the mourning, I had to handle the funeral arrangements with a heavy heart. I tried my best to stay strong, supporting my family and honouring my father's memory, but without Brian's support, the weight on my shoulders felt even heavier. I longed for his warm embrace, for him to be there to wipe away my tears and help me through this unimaginable loss, but it seemed like I had to face it all alone. It was a painful realization that the person I trusted most had chosen his mum's harmful beliefs over our love and my need for support during this heartbreaking time. Feeling lost and desperate, I turned to my best friend, Rose, for comfort and support. "Hey, come in." "I'm sorry for coming over without telling you." "Shush. You know my home is always open to you. How are you feeling?" "I'm so sorry for your loss." "I don't know, it's all been so hard. To make matters worse, Brian hasn't been there for me, especially after my father's death. He never helped with anything or offered any comfort. He thinks I don't value his family as much as I should, so he decided he wouldn't value mine. I just feel so alone in this." "What? That is not okay. You deserve so much better than that. How can he just abandon you in your time of need and over something as stupid as that?" "I know it's hard to understand, but I still believe our love can overcome this. I think if we talk, he'll realize how much he's hurt me and say sorry." "Sarah, I hate to see you in this pain, but sometimes love isn't enough. You deserve someone who supports you and is there for you unconditionally." "But I love him. I want to believe that he can change and be the partner I need. Love is important, but so is respect and support. You can't keep sacrificing your own happiness for someone who doesn't prioritize you. You deserve a love that lifts you, not one that brings you down." Even with Rose's advice, I stubbornly clung to the belief that Brian would make things right. It was a tough choice, holding on to hope when everything seemed against us. And then something completely unexpected happened. I found out that my father had left me a significant inheritance of $100,000. It was a mix of relief and sadness. The money would help ease my financial burdens, but it also served as a reminder of the loss I had suffered. Excited and overwhelmed, I shared the news with Brian. Instantly, his attitude changed.
"Baby, I'm so sorry for not understanding and supporting you during these past few weeks. I realized my mistake and I promise to be there for you through both the good and bad moments."
"Thank you for acknowledging that. I have to admit that I was just about ready to give up on us, so your apology means a lot to me."
"I'm sorry I pushed you to that point. I was being selfish, but I promise to be better from now on. You know, I've been thinking about our future together also. I want us to start living comfortably. How about you transfer your inheritance money to our joint account? It would help us to pay off our debts and start saving for a house. What do you think?
I get where you're coming from, but it's a big decision. I'm still on the fence about combining the money, especially after everything we've been through.
I know it's a big step, but it can bring us closer to our goals. We can work together and make responsible choices.
I'm still not completely comfortable with the idea, but if it's important to you, and you promise that we'll make all financial decisions together, I'll agree to transfer the money.
Absolutely, baby. Everything that needs to be done, we'll do it together. I promise.
As soon as the money was transferred into our shared account, Brian's behaviour took a sudden turn. He became affectionate, showering me with love and attention. But deep down, my instincts told me that something wasn't right. I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that settled within me. Then, that dreaded day arrived, when a notification popped up on my phone. It revealed a shocking truth. $100,000 had been moved from our joint account to Linda's account. Anger and betrayal surged through me like a tidal wave. Brian's actions were utterly unforgivable. Not only had he failed to support me during my time of grief, but he had also stolen my inheritance behind my back. The magnitude of his betrayal hit me like a ton of bricks. The person I loved and trusted had deceived me in the worst possible way. It felt like my heart was being ripped apart. How could he do this to me? The pain of his actions cut deep, leaving me reeling with a mix of anger, hurt, and disbelief. I called him, demanding an explanation. I need to know why you did this. How could you take my inheritance without asking?
Babe, please calm down. Our joint account means we share everything, including the money.
No, that money belonged to me from my dad. You can't just take it without my permission.
I thought we were a team.
I thought sharing meant using the money together. Sharing doesn't mean taking without asking or considering my feelings. You can't just call it family money to justify your actions.
I didn't mean to upset you. I thought it would benefit both of us.
How is taking what's mine benefiting anyone? I can't believe you would be so heartless and selfish. I don't even want to look at you right now. At that moment, I realized the true extent of Brian's selfishness and his inability to truly understand and respect my feelings. He had not only disregarded my grief, but had also violated my trust in the most profound way. I was overwhelmed with anger and couldn't control myself, so I hung up the call with Brian. I urgently asked for a day off from work and rushed to my best friend's, Rose's place. As soon as I saw her, tears streamed down my face, and I opened up about what had happened. He stole my inheritance. I can't believe that he did that to me. What? What do you mean? He convinced me to move my inheritance to our joint account so we could pay off our debts and start saving up for a house. I know how stupid it sounds, based on our history. I don't know why I even fell for it. I guess I just needed to feel loved and comforted by him, and I gave in to everything he wanted. Now look at me. Oh, Bubs, none of this is your fault. I cannot believe the audacity this man has. Listen, I know you love him and all, but you need to leave him. You cannot keep living like this. I know. The thought of divorce scares me. I don't have the money for a lawyer, and I'm afraid of how Brian will react. First of all, you shouldn't be worried about how Brian will react. He never cared about you, so it's time to give him a dose of his own medicine. Secondly, I've talked to my husband about potentially helping you in case you decide to divorce Brian, and he's more than willing to represent you. We won't let Brian get away with this. Thank you so much, Bubs. Your support means everything to me. I never thought it would come to this, but I can't continue like this anymore. You're strong. You deserve happiness and respect. We'll fight for what's right together. Knowing that I had someone on my side gave me a glimmer of hope in such a tough situation. With newfound determination, we went to Rose's husband's office together. We wrote up the divorce papers. As I made my way back home, a whirlwind of emotions overwhelmed me. I was still angry. I also felt deeply sad and betrayed. Mixed with those feelings, however, was a flicker of hope and newfound strength. Oh, it was a confusing mix of emotions as I mourned the loss of what I thought our relationship could be, while finding the courage to start a new chapter in my life. The moment I stepped into our home, I was greeted by Linda and Brian laughing together as they shared a cup of coffee. My anger intensified. Linda! You need to put the money back in my account. That is my inheritance, and it's not fair for you to use it without my permission.
Oh, please. Sarah, stop being so selfish. The money's in our family joint account now, so it's family money. In fact, we're planning a trip to Europe with it.
What do you mean by family? This is not how family treats each other. It's not right.
Stop being so dramatic. We're doing this because we're family. You should be grateful we're even inviting you on the trip.
Grateful? How can I be grateful about going on a trip that was funded by my money that was stolen from me?
My gosh, we didn't steal it. You willingly put it in our joint account with Brian and he withdrew it to send it to me. Stop with these silly accusations.
I simply couldn't continue to talk to them. It was like talking to a brick wall. Seeing their smug faces only made me angrier. I pulled out the divorce papers from my bag and handed them to Brian. His face paled as he realized what I was going to do. The satisfaction I felt at that moment was indescribable. I'll be moving out soon, and I expect the money to be back in my account within 2 days. If not, I'll take you to court, where you'll have to pay back the money and face fines.
You can't threaten him like that! It's a joint account! Brian can do what he wants with the money!
That's not how it works, Linda, especially in a divorce. I have legal rights, and Brian, don't underestimate my ability to fight for what's rightfully mine.
Please, Sarah, don't do this. Give me another chance. I'll be better, I promise.
You've lost your chance at forgiveness. Transfer the money, or you'll have to face further consequences.
Oh, please. How will you be able to even afford a lawyer?
I have Rose's husband helping me, so be prepared for hell if you don't send me back my money. Leaving Linda and Brian in a state of shock, I packed my bag with some essentials and made my way back to Rose's house. Emotions overwhelmed me once again, but this time mixed with a newfound sense of liberation. I knew I had made the right decision, reclaiming my independence and standing up against the injustice that had been forced upon me. The next morning, I woke up to a notification on my phone. My heart raced as I read the words that my money had been deposited back into my account. Justice had been served, although scars from this experience would linger. I was determined to heal, grow, and rebuild my life.